Hey Z-heads, Mark from Sparkle Shed back here again. Apologies for the last couple of weeks now, I haven't really got any videos up. I've been doing a little bit of touring around looking for hidden gems in Ireland, and just been kind of flying around the country in the camper van, so I didn't get as much done on the car as I was expecting to do. So this week we're just going to finish off the seam sealing car and get that primer on, and we'll just see if we can get it ready for a bit more steel work. So let's get the ball rolling. Okay, so I have everything taped. Decided not to record this because it's quite slow and monotonous. I just kind of went to every joint that I could see and taped either side of it. So for example here, I left a bit of a gap here for the side that's one side of the joint, and equal size gap on the other side. Then when we put on the seam sealer, we can just pull off the tip fairly quickly before it sets, and then we've got a nice little clean edge. Sometimes if you have a little bit too much seam sealer on the tape, it'll actually lift and kind of leave a little edge, but you can flake them off after. That's no big deal. We're going to start with this side now, see how we get on. The other side, taped up. I didn't actually record the actual application of the seam sealer on the side because I actually had a really tough time. This is where I was saying that the edges actually peel off, so that's dandy. The reason I had such issue was it was about 5 degrees Celsius here yesterday, and the tin was really tacky. So I'm going to run an experiment today. Now I've left it inside the stove all night, and I'm hoping that it'll be a little bit less viscous, so that when I go to applying it today, that'll actually go on a bit easier. Bit of an experiment to see how we get on. But yeah, this is the taping on the other side, and we'll just start applying the seam sealer now, see how we get on. Alright guys, we've learnt a few new lessons today, which is good. So we got our seam sealer on. I did notice that some spots there where it kind of peeled when we were pulling the tape off. And I noticed that it was doing it in all the spots where I had rust inhibitor on. So I went back to where I had rust inhibitor on up here, and lo and behold, that is not adhering to it. Now it's fine in other spots. There's no rust inhibitor, but the very second we kind of come back into this area, we can see that we're having problems. It's no biggie. We just basically go back to any of these areas here where we have rust inhibitor, and we'll just get the wire brush in, pull off all this old stuff, and then we'll probably roughen up all the surfaces where we're going to put on the seam sealer again and give it another go. So word to the wise, anyone that's doing this, nice clean surfaces, but if you've got rust inhibitor, remove it, and in that way you're going to get a good bond. So be a little bit of extra work to be done in here, but hey presto, doesn't look too bad. I'm quite happy with it. We have our wiper cowl nicely cleaned off. On the inside we have our rust preventative put in areas that are suspect. It's kind of tough to tell what's rust and what's actually paint because this particular Datsun came with metallic brown, which is a lovely colour, and it's pretty much the same colour as rust. So it's only when you actually start cleaning it back again and go, oh, that's not rust, that's actually just paint. You get to realise that the car is actually much better than you thought. Same in here, lots of paint, a couple of areas where the rust kind of causes a stippling effect, mostly on, it's hard to see in there, but just in the base of these flanges here. So we've gone in everywhere after the rust preventative was put in and put in seam sealer. Actually, a second layer of seam sealer got in here just to be safe. And that'll basically make sure that any water that does land in there doesn't puddle in any of these areas, just rolls by it and out the little holes that are at the back down there. So we're going to let that seam sealer rest for a day, and then we're going to come in here with primer. Let's just start priming this area and getting it to the next phase. All nicely shined up, cleaned, seam sealed. I'm not going to worry about it in here because we need to come back to this when it's off the frame. So just give this an old spray. So it's just a quick one this week. Next week we're looking to get the a bit more steel work done on the car. We're going to get the back left rear quarter panel repaired. There's a dogleg to be repaired, and I'm actually going to go and hand fabricate a battery tray because they're very, very hard to get for the ride and drive cars. So really looking forward to bringing that to you guys. And as always, any kind of likes or subscribes, I'd really, really appreciate that there.